Hello, my name is Yusuf Aziz, and the topic of my senior project is the use of performance-enhancing drugs in Russia. A performance-enhancing drug, or PED, is any substance used to artificially improve the quality of any form of physical activity in an athlete. When given the opportunity to take advantage of these drugs, an athlete might be tempted by the opportunity to improve their performance and earn more recognition, especially on global stages like the Olympics. This would be the case for dozens of Russian athletes that competed in the Olympics from the years 2011 through 2015. Reports confirmed after a year-long investigation by many anti-doping agencies that Russian Olympic athletes in many different sports competitions had been using performance-enhancing drugs to gain an edge. That isn't where the problem ends, though. Reports also confirmed that the athletes were not secretly using these drugs. Russian athletes all over the country were often encouraged to take these drugs by coaches, athletic trainers, doctors, and even state officials that had nothing to do with the Olympics. Many of the athletes that were offered performance-enhancing drugs were willing to take part in the use of them. But it was also reported that the athletes that refused to consume these harmful substances were kicked off of their national teams. It was also found that Lamin Diak, who was an honorary member of the International Olympic Committee, took bribes that were over $1 million to cover up the use of PEDs by Russian athletes. Diak would resign from the committee after he was given these accusations. The secret use of performance-enhancing drugs was so notorious in Russia that even Russian President Vladimir Putin had something to do with the situation. It is believed that Putin supported the secret manufacturing and use of these drugs because it would help Russia's Olympic team to gain more gold medals, and it would overall give the country of Russia a stronger image. This entire situation led to Russia being banned from participating in the 2016 Olympics. Even Russian athletes that were clean and were not found of having performance-enhancing drugs in their system would not be allowed to represent their country in these Olympic Games. Instead, they would have to compete under the Olympic flag if they wished to do so. This entire situation would go on to be known as the Russian doping scandal. It is one of the biggest scandals the sporting industry has ever seen, and it also tarnished Russia's reputation as a legitimate competitor in the Olympics. So, what is it that makes these drugs such a big deal if all it does is make athletes perform better? The first reason why these drugs don't belong in sports is that there are millions of passionate sports fans everywhere that deserve a legitimate and non-artificial product. The second and more important reason that these drugs should not be used is that the consumption of them can be seriously detrimental to your health. The use of performance-enhancing drugs, specifically steroids, which are the most commonly used ones, can lead to many harmful health conditions in men, including the loss of the ability to reproduce. Both men and women may suffer from tumors in the liver after the consumption of performance-enhancing drugs. To join the fight against performance-enhancing drugs, contact the Russian Anti-Doping Agency or World Anti-Doping Agency with ideas to help the fight to stop the use of performance-enhancing drugs in sports. Thank you for listening.